Welcome to the training session Pre-Award Activities. This training is the second in a series designed to assist and educate the growing grantee community associated with grant solutions. During this tutorial, students may pause, advance, or rewind the training session at any time. The topics covered during this training are searching for funding opportunities, completing and submitting an electronic application, and tracking application status using My Applications list. This first segment introduces the student to the Funding Opportunities feature. Funding opportunities can be accessed as either a guest or public viewer, or as a registered user within Grant Solutions. The public method is detailed in the following example. The registered user approach will be illustrated in the electronic application segment of this training. To access funding opportunities as a public user, scroll to the bottom of the Grant Solutions login screen and select the link View Grant Opportunities. The Grant Announcements page displays. This page contains general announcement and contact information for competitive funding opportunities. The announcement page allows a user to search for all competitive funding opportunities available through Grant Solutions. The search parameters include Program, Program Office, and the CFDA number. To search for all available opportunities, leave the search parameters at the default and click the Search button. The screen refreshes and the announcement list displays below the search boxes. All current public opportunities are listed with the announcement title, Program and Program Office, Grant Program, CFDA, and due date. To view a specific opportunity, click the announcement title. The announcement description displays. The description contains important instructions and contact information. In this example, Help Desk contact information is provided for both grants.gov and grantsolutions.gov. When finished reviewing an announcement, a user can close the screen to return to the announcement summary page. When viewing grant announcements as a public user, the prospective applicant may not yet apply electronically. To apply online, view the announcement instructions and determine if the application should be submitted via grants.gov or grantsolutions.gov. If applying through grantsolutions.gov, applicants must have a DUNS number. In addition, a Grant Solutions user account must be obtained. If you are already an existing grantee, log into Grant Solutions using your existing grantee username and password. If not, please contact the appropriate office as listed in the announcement instructions to request the necessary forms. When using Grant Solutions to apply for a funding opportunity, the user logs into the system to begin the application process. The next segment discusses the electronic application process. Topics include applying for a grant, the Grant Solutions application control checklist, completing online forms, uploading file attachments, and completing the final submission. To begin the application process, log on to Grant Solutions with your username and password. The My Grants List screen displays. My Grants List contains all awarded active grants assigned to the user organization. From the My Grants List screen, click Funding Opportunity from the menu bar. The Competing Announcements Application Kit screen displays. Click the Apply link in the same row as the appropriate announcement title. The Application Control Checklist contains the application kit, which was designed by the grants and program offices. It also contains several sections which may include online forms, attachments, for example program narratives, grant announcements, information for the applicant, proof of filing to be submitted by mail only, and additional information to be submitted. To complete the application control checklist, the applicant needs to enter all required information. The kit may include a combination of online forms, file uploads, mail-in items, and comments. The most common forms are the SF-424 Application for Federal Assistance, SF-424A Budget Information, Non-Construction Programs, SF-424B Assurances, Non-Construction Programs, and the Disclosure of Lobbying Activities. To draft a form, simply click the Enter Online link. Upon closing a partially completed form and returning to the application control checklist, a red triangle appears to the right of the form. This triangle indicates the form is incomplete. Select the online form link again to return to the form screen. The user may edit and update required information. Grant Solutions confirms with a Save Successful message. When saving all corrections and returning to the Application Control Checklist screen, a green checkmark appears to the right of the form. All online forms provide the ability to save data, and some also include rudimentary validation checks. It is important to note that Grant Solutions does not validate data content. Instead, it only performs a simple check to confirm data entry has been made to the required fields. It is up to the applicant to ensure the form is filled out completely and accurately prior to submission. A good example of this powerful checking tool is with the SF424A. The SF424A budget information is a complex, multi-purpose form allowing flexibility in its use. Applicants may propose up to 4 programs to be funded via the grant application request. Grant Solutions allows for real-time error checking, making it easier to complete the form. As the user enters data, the system automatically generates error prompts. By providing these prompts, the user can review help messages. In this example, a user has entered an incorrect number for fringe benefits. The error alert remains visible until the error is corrected. As this is a typical summation error, the user can easily correct the problem by reducing fringe benefits to $10,000. Once the correction is entered, the error message disappears. Once the SF424A has been validated, it can be saved. When saving the 424A budget form, an additional feature allows the user to transfer the totals to the SF424 form. Once the final transfer and save is complete, the user receives a Save Successful message. As with the SF424A, the SF424 version 2 form must be validated prior to submission. In this example, all data is entered except for the project director's email address. Upon saving, the system generates a Save Successful but with an error message. To correct the error, add the required email address. Once the error is corrected and the form saved, a Save Successful message displays. Once all required data has been entered in the SF424 or any of the other online forms, Grant Solutions converts the form to Adobe PDF format. The user may select the Print Completed link to produce a print copy. Some application enclosures are not completed via online forms. Therefore, Grant Solutions allows the user to upload file attachments in order to complete the application kit. Typically, enclosures requiring some kind of narrative include program narratives, budget narratives, and progress reports. To perform an upload, simply click the Uploaded Files link. The attachment screen displays. Click the Upload Attachment button. The attachment screen displays. Enter a required description and then click the Browse button to search for the desired document. Select the necessary document and then click Open. Click the Attach button. Confirm the upload action is complete and then click Close. In addition to attaching files, the user may also add comments. Click the Enter Comments link. The application enclosure comment screen displays. In this example, the comment Work Plan Uploaded has been added. Click the Save button to return to the Application Control Checklist. Confirm attachments have been added to the checklist. The final submission process is a 2-step procedure. The first step is to verify submission, and the last step is the final submission. To begin, scroll through the Application Control Checklist screen to confirm all sections are complete and possess a green checkmark. This is a very important step for applicants, since some program offices only perform an input review for fully completed applications. If any section is incomplete, it could justify a return of the application. Click the Verify Submission button. Select the Final Submission button. The system generates a warning message. Click OK to continue or cancel to return the application control checklist to an editable state. If OK was selected, any changes to the application are subject to Grants Office policy. Once OK is selected, the application is officially submitted. Click the Application Control Checklist link. The user can now confirm that the checklist is in read-only mode. The application process is now complete. Close the Grant Solutions Application Control Checklist screen. The final segment of the pre-award training focuses on the My Applications List screen. This section covers how to track application status and communicate with grant staff using application notes. To access My Applications List, select Applications from the main menu. The My Application List screen displays. This screen is the central area for managing applications. This summary page lists key information such as application number and grant number, title, application type, federal receive date, project period, status, and action. This page lists new applications and all post-award applications or amendments. Post-award management is covered more fully in the third training of the Grantee series. The user can review the statuses of all applications and perform certain actions by selecting the open link. Statuses include submitted, review in progress, awarded, and not funded. The Grant Solutions Application Control Checklist screen displays. The user can easily review the complete application. When closing the application checklist, the applicant returns to the My Applications list. In addition to viewing application status, the My Applications list provides a convenient communication tool known as Application Notes. Application Notes consists of informational text that may be added to a notes file for specific application. To access the notes file, select the Notes link. Application Notes screen appears. Click the Maximize box to fully expand the Notes window. Application Notes can be added and viewed at many points during the application process. The Application Notes page consists of two main sections. The top section is a search, which allows a user to search on all notes based on creation date, type, category, author, and subject. The bottom section contains a list of all the generated notes. To edit a note, click the Edit icon in the Action column. To delete a note, select the small trash can icon. Please be aware that only the author has the option to edit or delete a note. The contents of the note and any attachment can be viewed by selecting the View Note icon. Once the Application Notes view is opened, the user can view the note and all attachments. To view any attachment, simply click the attachment name. The Save As box displays. Determine where you want to save the attachment and click the Save button. Confirm the download is complete and click Close. From your saved location, open the attachment file for review. When done, click the X in the upper right corner to close the attachment. To create a new note, click the Add button at the bottom of the Application Notes screen. The Notes page opens and is available for text input and attachments. The user must enter all required fields before adding the note. In addition to typing a note, Grant Solutions allows the user to upload larger documents to the application file. This is a powerful feature since it provides a more robust collaboration between the applicant and federal office. Should the federal office require a more comprehensive information from the application, the applicant can easily upload a document. Simply provide a description for the document and click the Browse button. The Choose File to Upload box appears. Select the desired file and then click the Open button. Once the File to Upload field is populated, select the Upload button. The file is being uploaded to the note. Once the upload is complete and in queued status, click the Submit button. When returning to the Application Notes page, the author can confirm the addition of the second note. In this example, the FFR Addendum 2 has been added. As with the first note, this second note can be reviewed. The author of the note has the ability to view, edit, or delete. All others only see the View icon. When finished, click the Cancel button. My Applications List screen displays. This concludes the pre-award training of the Grantee Training series. In addition to these training sessions, additional training documents are available from the Help link within Grant Solutions.